The overall story is we had ultimate intimacy last night, so your partner should be able to have a choice to bring you guys closer.
Which she did.
Right? She didn't.
She had a choice. Why didn't she have a choice? I didn't say don't do it.
So Married at First Sight has been really ramping up the last couple of days. What's it like for you, I guess, watching back at home after doing the filming a couple of months ago now? Is it still as fresh as what it was back then?
It's always very revealing because there's so many things that we don't get to see while we're actually going through the experience. So for instance, like early on, like you've already seen the dynamics between Mel and Luke leading up to commitment ceremony number 1. Like we saw what happened at the dinner party, but we had no idea what had been going on and how it had stretched out for a couple of weeks. And I didn't quite realize what Luke had gone through until I actually watched it play out on TV. So it's always really interesting to see it all come together.
What's it like watching it as a viewer? Because obviously we formulate a lot of opinions and strong ones too, but you're actually involved in making decisions with these couples. Like, for example, the Luke and Mel situation. Yes. When you actually watched it, were you like, oh, I would have actually given different advice had I have had the whole context?
No, not necessarily in terms of different advice, but you get, of course, a better picture of it. And I think that's part of what makes the show so interesting, because as viewers, you're getting to see what in real life your therapist doesn't actually get to see. When you go see somebody and you're in real life seeking help and asking for advice or trying to solve conflict in a relationship, you're just telling somebody what happened. They're not seeing video. They're not noticing the tone and seeing how you're actually behaving with your partner. So that is something that is very particular that you get with the show. But my experience going through it is very much as one would have an experience in real life, just having a chat about a situation and directing and redirecting behaviors.
When you see someone like Brooke, who was really acting up on Sunday, I mean, what's your personal take around stuff like that? Do you just think you're a teacher half the time, just getting the kids in line?
I think maybe it sounds like that. That is not my intent. My role is not as a teacher, and I would hope not to have to be teaching 20, 30, 40, and 50-year-olds on how to behave. They're adult people. It's very disappointing to see certain behaviors, especially when they're masqueraded behind really positive terms like being a girl's girl or like being there to support your girlfriends and being very female positive, and then to taint such positivity with such horrific behavior, yes, I think is quite telling. So I was disappointed, of course. Yes.
Yeah, fair enough. It looks like in the next episode we're going to see kind of some vitriol directed at you with Steve questioning you. We do see in the brief snippet that we saw you kind of stand up to that behaviour, but that was a new one for me, seeing the contestants kind of turn on you guys. How did that feel?
It was quite interesting with Steve because he had a reaction to my really not letting up, realizing he was avoiding answering my questions. So to see that his reaction to feeling, I guess, cornered or not really knowing how to handle the situation was to turn it around and try to come at me with the most obvious thing, because, of course, we're filming a television show. I think everybody is aware that we're filming a reality TV show in the context of what we're doing. And, of course, I wear an earpiece because somebody has to be in contact with the control room to know when, they have what they need. But, So for him to come at something and try to destabilize me out of a conversation that was really poignant and really trying to get somewhere real was highly disappointing, especially from a grown-up 50-some-year-old man. So, yes, you will see tonight how that all comes to play.
I'm interested to know, with MAFS airing on TV now, Do you, Mel, and John all have a group chat where you're texting each other back and forth while the episodes are airing?
We do have a group chat. We've had it since since I joined the show. I'm sure they had their group chat before I joined, but since I've been a part, we certainly have our group chat, and we don't necessarily comment on every single episode, but yes, we do comment throughout the season. We're all in different countries. Mel is in the UK, John is in Australia, I'm here in Puerto Rico, so time zones are very different, but we absolutely keep in touch.
Oh, I love that so much. Hey, Alessandra, I'd love to ask you, how did you end up being on MAFS? Because looking at your career, it is so interesting, but it's mostly been spent in the States and Puerto Rico, and then all of a sudden you pop up on Aussie TV. How did that happen?
Well, it's interesting. My career has... I've been present in a lot of countries. Most of my career has been in Latin America, in 22 countries in Latin America. I've done work in the UK in the past, in the US, in English and in Spanish. And doing a show in Argentina in 2020, I was contacted by the producers of MAFS. They knew of my work, and they wanted to have a chat. And then I found out that MAFS existed. And I ended up coming out to Australia to do this project. And I'm so excited because it is such a different experience to do this type of show, coming from what I have been doing for the past 20-some years. And to really be present in an experiment, a TV show that is so relevant in Australia that it really gets conversations going. And I'm always excited about really thoughtful conversation around these topics that are so human, like relationships and sex. I'm very happy.
Is there a Puerto Rican version of Married at First Sight?
We don't have a local Puerto Rican version. I would love to have one. You don't know. It would be so spicy.
It would be.
I would watch that. One.
I would absolutely watch that. Hey,
yes. You guys all got the vibe of Puerto Rico after Bad Bunny's show. I know it. I know that you all now understand Puerto Rico.
Yes.
So yes, it would be very spicy.
I would love to watch. Let's make that happen. Just quickly, I'd love to get your take on Julia's approach to Intimacy Week, because there's a lot of chat saying that she didn't really take it seriously, or that's not the right interpretation of intimacy. What do you think?
It's a fine line, because she makes a really good point. For many people, the getting emotionally close to someone, understanding somebody, you can get really enamored and really enthralled by someone, and that can really spark enthusiasm for intimacy, for physical intimacy. Other people don't necessarily need so much talk when you're thinking about creating a mood, and it's more about actions and not so much about so much talk. So it depends on how you're seeing what you value and how you communicate that and how you balance out what your needs are to create that safe space and that erotic space, and what your partner needs. And there has to be a balance. It can't be just one-sided. So I'll say that.
If she had have asked your advice on if that was the way forward, would you have said yes or no?
I would have said that it's important to explore that, but of course, she has to also be aware that it's not only about her reality. There's another human being with a different experience, with different needs, with perhaps different feelings and different rhythms. So finding a common ground, I think, is what you strive for, especially when you're actively trying to build a connection. If you're just going about life, you don't have to. But if you signed up for an experiment where you're going to actively try to build a connection and try to fall in love with someone, you have to put in the work to create and generate circumstances that will lead to that. Otherwise, you're shooting yourself in the leg. So things to consider.
Well, Alessandra, it's been an absolute pleasure chatting with you today. Thank you for taking the time. We're loving Intimacy Week, and it just keeps ramping up more and more on Married at First Sight. So enjoy watching.
Hey you, thank you so much for watching. Don't forget to like, share, comment and subscribe.